Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, ultra exciting one. We are testing the new MVP releases for this June. I believe they're releasing June 20th. We have the new Eagle McMahon Plasma Dimension, the all new special edition Fission Trail, and the new stock release of the Prism Neutron Trance. These are all definitely highly requested, and you know, typically we do these reviews if you've been familiar with the channel, you've been subscribed, you've watched all our other reviews, but we have a special guest for today, and it is none other than Thomas Tomaselli himself. If you've watched videos before, we've mentioned him. He is MVP sponsored, and so what better way to throw an MVP review video than with the man himself? So yeah.
Well, he didn't tell me to say anything, but I'm looking forward to throw these discs. So
Okay.
There we go. We'll start
Sweet.
with that. My name is Thomas Tomaselli, PDGA number 80904. Been playing disc golf, I believe this is my 14th year, maybe my 13th year of playing disc golf. Played professionally since 2017. Threw my first gyro disc in somewhere around 2014. It was a third run anode, and since then tried a bunch of different MVP discs. Got sponsored by MVP in 2021 was, I believe, my first year being sponsored by MVP. And a lot of their discs have just gotten better and better over the years. A lot of people complain about a bunch of discs not having dome. This disc has some dome, so we're gonna try out a bunch of these different discs. Of these three discs, I bagged the Dimension. This is a Dimension in my favorite plastic, a plasma Dimension. The Dimension typically is not domey. I find that when they are flatter, they hold hyzer better. Domier ones tend to pop up a little bit more, so I am excited to throw this. This feels like most Dimensions that I've felt in recent years. A long time ago, there were some runs that were a lot domier. We might see some of those kind of come back. I know some of the new Neutron runs have been a little bit domier, but I'm excited to throw this one for sure. This trail is insane. I mean, this is about as domey gets. 167 Fission. This is probably just a glide machine. Really cool looking disc. The Trance, definitely a weird looking disc, but in a good way. It has that kind of steep bevel underneath the disc. I know that the first runs that they sent me were actually quite overstable. I've heard from other friends, Sias Elmore, also on Team MVP, that this run specifically flies really good. So I'm expecting somewhere in the realm of a volt, maybe a little bit less stable than a volt. Good gliding disc, surprisingly workable from what I've heard. So I'm excited to throw these.
Yeah, coming from a disc golf store owner's perspective, the Plasma Dimension definitely feels a little bit different than the ones I have in my store. The ones I have in my store are a little bit domey. This one's pretty flat and honestly feels a lot better. I'm not sure because the plastic's a little bit gummier in this plasma plastic, but I'm excited to see how this one flies. I'm expecting it to be really overstable. For the trail, Thomas said it best, it is the dome of all dome. I would say the domiest Neutron trails I have in my store are nowhere near as domey as this. So, and in the 167 gram, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty understable straight out of the box, but we'll see. I'm assuming it's going to be also very beginner am friendly. For the Trance, the last time they ran this was 2023 OTB Open.
With the big bug on it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think they made another run of it. So really excited to try this. It's a little different than the ones that I got from the OTB Open run that year. I think these are a little bit slightly more dome, or has a slightly bigger shoulder than the other.
So this is the third run because they did the Prism Proton run. So they were Prism on Prism, and those were the least stable.
Yeah.
So the second run they looked exactly like this, but word of mouth that this one's supposed to be in between those two.
Interesting. Okay, but yeah, I guess those are just my thoughts as well.
All right, my opinion on the Dimension. I carry a Dimension in and out my bag. It wasn't in my bag though. But the plasma plastic feels very good, nice and grippy. Maybe a little give. The stamp's awesome. Twin Dragons, Eagle McMahon Synergy Series. I love the artwork. It looks fantastic. Yeah, it feels like a stable Dimension, kind of like the one I rotate in and out my bag. As far as the trail goes, I feel like when there is more dome, the wing gets slightly lower. I don't know if that kind of makes
For sure.
sense. And yeah, with Fission comes Glide, the People's Trill. A few words. And Trance. I had a Trance from, I think, the Circuit Challenge last year. It does look a little bit different than the one I had previously. Very interesting. What Thomas said, the beveled edge, just a unique looking disc and cool colors too. So let's go through them.
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna try to throw it definitely not near people. That's what I'm gonna shoot for. We have a little tail right to left, so the disc should naturally drift more left in general, and also be a smidge more stable than normal. So I'll try to play for that. I'm gonna try to throw it near that goal. Definitely more turn. Look at that.
oh my gosh, that thing
Very
bombs.
straight. I was predicting that to fade way more than it did, and it did not.
Yeah,
So,
that's interesting.
yeah, like I said, that's what I've heard. I mean, that basically flew right where I threw it. Little hyzer flipped to flat, almost finished in line with where I threw it.
Yeah, sick.
So this is supposed to be even less stable than that, but I feel like I can throw this really far. I think I'm going to go tempo down a little bit, try to spin it. We have even more tail right to left now. But I think I'm just going to try to see how much spin I can put on this to really show the glide. And I might just roll the heck out of it, but I'm going to try not to do that.
Wow,
Yeah, that's really clean.
that is so much better a flight than I thought it
That was really far. Okay, that was like 70%, mostly focusing on spin and pop late. I'm also shortening my run up right now. I will give myself a bigger run up for throwing this dimension now. But that flew fantastic. That was a lot more stable than I thought. I would almost say that there was similar stability to the Trance for me, but I threw the Trance harder for sure.
Yeah.
So powered down. Now I'm just gonna throw this like I throw Dimensions, which for Dimension for me, huge hyzer. Pretty much the only way I throw it, unless I'm playing a course where I really try to get a lot of ground play. The grass is too thick here, so not a ground play kind of scenario. But I mean, I'm gonna try to throw a huge hyzer, probably really hard to film. I'll try to throw it out into the blue sky so you can actually see it. But this is usually 400, 420 for me, especially when right out the box. It's probably gonna be pretty stable. Pretty stable. Yeah, definitely look at that late where it digged. It didn't go too far past Manny. It was right where I was aiming though. Definitely had that late where it starts going to the ground and it really starts going to the ground as it loses speed. So that just shows the stability of that run. Well, I was like Dimension. I was like a good Dimension.
All right, so you guys clearly saw how Thomas threw those. Pretty ideal, honestly. Now you'll get the perspective of a amateur-like player. I'm gonna go in the same order, yeah. So I'm gonna throw the Trance first. And for me, I kind of only throw one angle. It's like slide hyzer, sort of flat. And so we'll kind of just see how the discs react based on how I throw. I'm assuming it'll be all over the place, but let's test it out. So we'll go Trance first. Throw it like 70, 80% and see if I can get the same flip in this tail right to left. So slight flip, but damn, that thing does go really straight.
Flew pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty similar. Got a little bit more fade at the end. But next I'll throw the trail. I'm gonna throw this actually very similar power to see if I can get that turn. So definitely threw it same power, and you see how it gets that drift to the right. Wow, drifted so far to the right. I feel like if we throw that really hard on some hyzer, it'll bomb.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Could go in the 500s for these
That's
guys.
that's why I was trying to throw spin over speed on that disc, just because I was feeling out it being less stable.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm assuming if we do a max distance challenge.
Oh, that Manny's gonna throw that thing so far.
Yeah, Manny will definitely throw it far. But next I'm gonna throw this Dimension, and I'm actually gonna throw it slightly different, maybe a little bit flatter. And I really want to see if I can throw 14.5 speed. I'm assuming I cannot, but let's see. Yeah, really stable, but it honestly doesn't fly as stable as I thought it would. I feel like it flies really similar to a Calvin Heimberg destroyer with a little less glide, but it's not like ridiculously overstable where someone with not like insane arm speed could just like, it's like unusable, I guess, to say. So it's not like a tilt, I would say. That was my first impressions. Next we'll have Manny, who's walking up, throw them, and see how they fly for him.
So I'm going to go for all these guys I've been throwing. Trance, Trail, and Dimension. I just want to know, I don't know if you guys already talked about this, but the rim on this Trance is very unique. It like dips down.
For sure.
Which is very weird. My rims dip down when I beat the living crap out of a mid-range. I'll be throwing these. I don't know how I want to throw these. Probably I just want to get the flight out of them. So like a hyzer flip. I'm a natural hyzer thrower. So I just throw a hyzer flip straight with this Trance first. So I want to get this out 400 feet.
Some light.
Some light. I'll throw this on a slight hyzer. We have a right to left cross. Oh my God.
Oh my, the hyzer flip is crazy on that thing. Just glide for days.
That was probably, we are slightly downhill, but that was probably like 420.
Probably. How hard were you throwing that?
Not that hard, to be honest.
Oh my
It just,
gosh.
the glide on that thing's very ridiculous. So it just got up there fast and just kept going straight. So now with the trail, it's 167 trail. I'll throw this on. A little bit more touch. I don't want this to really
This thing's gone.
When I mean more touch, I mean more hyzer for me.
Yeah. Oh my, almost flipped up to flat.
And I almost got Thomas's head off. So that was great. I mean, for lower arm speed players, I could see that being their workhorse. Like a hyzer if they want to get more distance, you know, flat, get a little bit drift, come back. And for the Trance, it's like for every arm speed. So now it's going to be the Dimension on a flat line or maybe on a hyzer line. Try to get this out to the road. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Try to throw this flat, which is normally what I throw a Dimension.
Flat being slide hyzer.
Maybe, yes, exactly. All right. Oh, slight hyzer it is. It wasn't that good of a shot. Overstable nonetheless. Headwind fighter. I could see big arm players just throwing the living crap out of that disc into a headwind and just going far into the fairway. So, great discs. I'm Tomaselli again, folks.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can hit Chris while he's running. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that.
All right, beautiful day out here, huh, Thomas?
Totally beautiful. I've thrown a lot of shots on this field for sure. One of my most practiced fields for sure. I'll do the same order. Manny threw the Trance really well. And now that I know it's less stable, I'll put more hyzer on it. I'm gonna throw it hard and put hyzer on it and see if I can get it to kind of hold a little straighter line,
I'd say wait
knowing how it flies.
Step aside, Thomas.
Got it to fade this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the same thing, trail. I'm gonna throw this one hard, see if I can get it to hyzer flip turn, especially with this. Or I can, you know what, I'll get it to try to ride up to flat, but knowing that I can actually get it to fly and not turn and burn, I'll throw it harder this time.
Okay.
Far.
That was probably like 450.
I didn't throw it very hard.
Yeah, that's the Fission
Yeah,
plastic.
it's
El
that
Fission.
dome. All right, I'm gonna throw Annie on this one.
Do old school Thomas form.
Old school Thomas. All right, I'm gonna try to throw this just really hard. Oh, it's so stable.
Oh, it fought out of it
Throwing it
immediately.
flat or even Annie shows how stable that disc actually is. Wow, look at the
still
ground
got
play.
some skip.
That was where Manny's shot landed.
Thoughts?
That disc very stable. That trail's pretty sweet. Very far flying, very domey. 167, I bet a max weight one's actually pretty stable. The Trance, workable, late fade. Kind of a lot of fade late in that flight, but very straight flight at speed. Good discs, I think they're all good.
Max distance for me, quote unquote max distance. Trance, I don't know why I want to call it trace, it's so similar. Trail, Dimension. All right, I'm gonna dome Thomas. Pause. All right, he's not looking. I'm gonna go fan grip, All right, here we go. I'll release this on hyzer because I always do that.
Oh my gosh. That is such a good disc. That is so far.
That is like pitted, bro. All right, trail. Try to do the same thing, but farther. More hyzer. More hyzer. Put more hyzer, hashtag more hyzer in the comments.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that thing is gone. Dude, that just went like 500 feet.
That's nice. Now, I gotta turn this thing over because this thing's too overstable. All right.
Time to yam on it.
I gotta throw it like all right. Come on, Manny.
Come on. Oh, that thing.
Oh, dude, nah, the crosswind
dropped it, but
but it was fighting out of it intensely. Great disc. But those first two went pretty far. All right, here we got Christian Noy, folks.
To cap off this video, you're gonna yam on these discs, and if you don't know what yamming is, you're about to see it right now.
Or he's buns, and if you don't know what buns is,
you're about to see right now. So I'm gonna throw this Trance slide hyzer, and I want to see if this thing turns. And I want to see if I could throw this over 400 feet. Slide downhill, I don't care. I'm counting it.
Oh,
it
wow.
turned.
Yeah, he's buns.
I'm buns. Oh, that thing's...
Got it to first base.
Got it to first base, literally. I'm going to throw more hyzer with this trail, and this thing is going to go 500 feet.
Let's see it.
Psych.
Let's freaking...
It's going to be a roller.
Let's see it, dude.
No, let's see. All right. Throw this hard. Oh, I threw it enough hyzer.
Oh, yeah. Dude, there it is.
Dude, that's gone. Oh, my gosh.
Reaction cam?
Put the distance in right now. Guaranteed it's over 4 bills. Can guarantee it. How much hyzer I put on that?
That was a
It was like,
hyzer. Just throw, dude.
So you can see, like, I put maybe 85% because I don't throw that hard hyzer, but like it flips.
That looked good.
And it just like is neutral, just stays on a frozen rope, as Thomas was saying. But throw this dimension. I'm actually gonna throw this dimension sidearm.
He's buns.
And yeah, I mean to put it pretty short. I am not good at throwing sidearms. If you're new to this channel, you'll see how bad my sidearm is. But this thing's stable. This is probably like a disc I'd use as like pure utility. So you'll see how this thing flies. Throw it. As I just said, my sidearm's buns, so
my sidearm.
I might put it flat, I might put it hyzer, I might put it Annie. Who knows? You'll see right now.
Oh, dude, that's
so
not
slight
that
Annie. Oh my god, that thing's actually good. Like the slight, you could throw a slight hyzer, and those come out, and it wasn't like knifing, but honestly, really sick disc. But yeah, overall those discs were pretty sweet. So,
I agree.
But let's give our final thoughts.
Right now, final thoughts. Oh, do any of these make my bag currently? I love my bag currently. I would definitely be interested in this trail of the 3 discs. Wooded courses where I need to throw maybe at elevation. Elevation bomber. Tahoe disc. Manny's behind the camera going, this would be sweet.
Bro, I never even played there.
Yeah.
Never even played there. But a little bit lighter weight, 10 speed. I mean, this one's so domey. Elevation course where I'd take out maybe like a distance photon, kind of a control distance driver, something like that. Trance, would I make the bag? I just really love my drift right now. Kind of like somewhere in that realm with more fade at the end. Probably, again, a course where I had to find a line for it, but maybe not necessarily in my bag, but I totally can see it making a lot of other people's bags. I mean, a stable dimension, go play any windy course. I mean, the runs of dimension lately have been, most of them pretty stable, but it's nice to know getting one can be on the more stable side. When it comes to distance drivers, this is one disc. Distance drivers always have variances in them. That doesn't mean that every Eagle dimension is going to be super overstable. This one is. This is very overstable. Dimension, I don't think it's going out of my bag anytime soon, specifically the one that's in my bag. I lost one at Vegas. I had a clone backup, put it right in the bag, played my next tournament. I had it, one hole I threw it on, 2 bullseye hits and a 20-footer. Haven't even thrown that disc more than 15 times. So the Dimension being a disc that is so consistently overstable, that's what it's supposed to be. So just because you can't hyzer flip a Dimension doesn't mean you're supposed to. So I would say of the 3, the trail is the most interesting of the 3 in terms of distance and kind of it just being like a wow disc. We were throwing it back and it has so much glide because of how domey it is. It's like kind of that disc to go wow. But the Dimension's a fantastic disc. Love the plastic, loves the stamp. Of the 3, at the end of the day, Dimension's probably my favorite of the 3.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think all of these were actually pretty surprising. I was pretty blown away by how the Dimension's obviously stable, but it feels, since it's a 14.5 speed, it feels like it would just dump right out of my hand, and it didn't do that. But still, stable disc, good wind fighter. The Trance, very surprising to me. It was a little bit more unstable than expected. I have an Essence in my bag, and this could easily replace it. It's like a slight hyzer flip, push straight, and it just bombs. And speaking of bombers, this trail, it's unreal. Like it feels like it would be way more unstable because of how domey it is, but it's just like slight hyzer flip, get some turn, and just go forever. I mean, Manny threw this 486 and looked like he wasn't even trying. So definitely a special release this month. Just to end this video, I'd like to thank Thomas for coming out, Manny for coming out. But yeah, that kind of does it for this video. How can they support you?
Tom Disc. I just had my first stamp, my first official disc from MVP. It's got my dog on it, Georgie. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, you're more than welcome to support me. I have pyros, I got trails, I got tons of stuff with it, and everything helps. I love disc golf. I love hanging out with, meeting new people, and thank you for driving down to Hardpan.
No,
we just did a trip down there. And it was 104 degrees, and we single day shot it, 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive each way, and we only had to wait about 2 hours after the round so that he can drink enough water and get enough ice on his neck. So thank you for that. Thank you for having me in the video. I hope to be in other videos.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
For sure. Yeah, so that kind of does it. If you guys want to pre-order these discs, they're still available now. They released June 20th. So if you get pre-ordered before then, you can secure yours today. But yeah, thanks guys again for watching. Hopefully we'll film some more videos with Thomas soon and Manny. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.